Right, listen to this. Taxpayers, I hope this surprises you at home because I find it shocking. I thought it was about $6 billion. It certainly was in my day. But taxpayers, you're shelling out almost $11 billion a year to subsidise childcare. Now, from tomorrow, that bill's going to clock $13 billion. And it's not just people on modest incomes that we're subsidising. Under Labor, if you're a household and your income's around $500,000, you'll still get subsidised childcare, right up to about 90% of the amount that you charge from the centre. And the centre knows that they've got you over a barrel. The government's going to keep throwing money at childcare. Reports today that a Melbourne childcare centre, they're slugging parents $47,000 a year for littlies in childcare. That's more than what you pay to send your kid to Geelong Grammar. It's $46,000 a year. Now, Prue, there is a rort going on here with a lot of these centres. We know that the workforce is unionised. That's part of the incentive for Labor. How about we give the parents the money? Give the parents the money. They can decide that mum might give up her part-time job and use that to help stay at home and pay the mortgage. Or they might hire in a nanny or a grandparent or someone to look after the kids. Or if they want, take that money and put the child into formal unionised childcare. But how about we let the parents decide?
Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it? You know, it's just obscene that you have the Labor Party even countenancing subsidising people who are bringing home $500,000 with our money. And then, of course, you have the other side of the equation, as you say, where it's not going to mean jack you know what, because frankly, the childcare agencies put the costs up, so it doesn't go anywhere. And then you've got the demands of the union labour force going up, as we know. So your formula is the sensible way to go. Let the parents decide. And we have to say that there are a lot of, look at the older people who are forced to retire, people who've raised their children who'd love to be able to raise young children. So I just think, you know, you're right. If we could let grandparents or other seniors or neighbours be subsidised and step into this role, it's the best way to go.
Peta, it's not just that. It's some women who choose to stay home with the kids who want to and are lucky enough to be in a financial position to do that are treated as less than, as if they're a lower level of society because they don't want to make their children to go to some school from birth practically. So yes, there needs to be another solution. It's ridiculous, and big income people should not be getting the same breaks as those that with a greater less income.
It's crazy.
And $47,000 for a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old in childcare is not much different than what we're paying a pensioner. I just absolutely find it extraordinary because beyond the childcare, of course, there's all the family payments and the subsidies to the family household. Beyond just the childcare payment, the poor old pensioner gets one bit of money from the taxpayer, having paid taxes all their life, and we know they're struggling. Let's go to this issue in New Zealand. Very soon, all of their signs, road signs, are going to be in both Maori and English. It's being pushed. We know that in Brisbane they're changing the name of Fraser Island and other things. But Prue, what do you think of this?
Well, it's to be expected in New Zealand. I'm surprised it's taken this long for them to do that. Look, this is what happens when you yield to and bend over backwards to accommodate the Indigenous communities. That, you know, everything that we understand and know, and it's happening here, as you say. You know, Palaszczuk wants to change the name of Brisbane before the Olympic Games. So suddenly it ain't going to be the Brisbane Olympics, it's Mendula or something that none of us know. We're all going to have to learn a new language.
And I've got no idea what Fraser Island's
right? No, exactly. None of us do. And in fact, I heard of some bloke who was getting on a plane and they had an Indigenous name up on the board, and he said, "I just want to go to Alice Springs. Where the hell are you taking me?" So it's just so stupid, but this is the problem, and this is what we're going to face in this country if the yes vote gets up.
But Peter, I was in New Zealand last year, and no one knew where the hell they were or where the hell they were going. You know, if it's just the Maori name, you know, you've got to sort of look at both sets of names to see where you've been and where you're heading to. It's nuts.
And I have to say, none of this stuff ever goes to a vote. It happens by stealth. Tina McQueen, Prue McSween. Have a lovely weekend, ladies. See you next week.